G'day folks. Well, it's time to let's see if my little IAC repair works on blue. Installation was just the reverse of what I showed to take it apart. Just put everything back on. Definitely needs new coolant hoses, but they are clamped up tight enough not to come off for backyard use. I just wouldn't trust it on the road, so I'd be looking at replacing the little coolant hoses that feed the body and run down to there under the block. But that was all easy enough. I only lost maybe a few more millilitres of coolant after taking my little plugs out. Yeah. I've got to get the keys out of Betty first, so I'll shut her off, and let's not forget carbon canister vacuum. Not critical, but could cause problems. Yeah, we're going to after warm-up idle. Oh, sorry, hot idle. That IAC is working fine. So I've got to do these up tight, double check everything, and we'll be good to go. I really want to take the top end apart and get rid of some of that ticking, put new lifters, hydraulic followers. So it's a cam over valve setup. There are no tappets, there's no adjustment, and once they become worn or out of tolerance, out of spec, then you get problems. So anyway, I'll finish torquing these down, or do up the hose clamps, and that's about it. That's all back on, locked in. Air filter's virtually new. It was serviced very recently. I got another 10,000, well, according to the Toyota sticker there's 10,000 to the next service, but I service more often. I service every 5,000. So yeah. And with the coolant, yes, you do not mix these with, do not mix red with green. You got propylene glycol and ethylene glycol, and they do not mix properly. They coagulate and block all your radiator cores and everything like that, and it's basically game over. So red comes out, red goes back in. Green comes out, green goes back in. That's all there is to it. Just don't mix them. Anyway. Okay. After a brief 5-minute warm-up period, we are starting to come to temperature, and idle has dropped instead of increased. Normally he would be sitting here idling at about 1800 RPM, and now it's almost too low. I think because I can clock the servo module a couple of degrees either side, and I can also take the end plate off for the bimetal spring housing and also use that to adjust it. Because that also has, sorry, that has the spring on it, and it has slotted holes, so you can adjust it a bit to bring that up. Normally it's set at the factory, but of course taking it apart to de-rust and clean up the bearings and everything in it has upset it a tiny bit. Ooh, yeah, you get a bit of a rumble and a shudder going on. I know the engine mounts are pretty sad. Same with the rear shocks, it gets that bouncy thing going on over the bumps. Rides really nicely though. I would like to keep the old shocks in here, but they won't pass roadworthy. Airbags would be fun. Airbag suspension. Yeah, apart from that, not too bad. Not bad for a parts car anyway, or one that I bought as a parts car and just can't bring myself to kill now. In way better condition than I expected. 1,500 bucks. I was expecting something like the interior to be all full of cigarette smoke residue and just filth through the carpets and everything. There were no interior photos on the site that I was looking at that was for sale. It was just a couple of exterior photos taken on an old iPhone, so you could barely make out a lot of detail. And yeah, another little gem. Anyway, RAV's turning into a storage unit too. Some old truck tubes and other crap that I found in the back of the workshop. Mostly probably tip fodder more than anything. Yeah. What else can I say? Little blue RAV is a bit happier now. At least he's not idling at 1800 or 1900 RPM when warmed up. Let's put some load on the engine. We'll load up the alternator. That's with highs on. 500 revs, rattle, rattle, rattle. Yeah, I got to adjust the components of the IAC valve to make it work properly, or at least idle a little bit higher. But that's about it. I'm going to get another IAC anyway. This one isn't going to last all that long. It's just nice to not be able to leave him idling and not worry about sitting there revving at 1900 revs just for the hell of it. That's not good. We don't like that here. So yeah. Anyway, that's basically all we have to do. It's not really a technical video, it's just let's see how it goes, and it goes alright. Definitely not going to be able to idle off the line. We're not going forwards, there's nowhere to go. No. Didn't play with the linkage when I took that out, but that just didn't feel right, and it wasn't. I know it's a bit muddy and rutty and running grass pressures in the tyres now. It's about 20 psi. A little bit harder to sink into the ground and chew up my lawn. Basically, if you're not going very fast and you want to preserve your lawn, smooth, bold tyres and run them about 16 to 20 pounds, and you can save a lot of damage and wear and tear moving cars around. But of course, if you ever go out on the road, always put them back up to 32, 35. In this case, the tyres are all unroadworthy, so you ain't going on road for quite a while. Yeah, that's just a little tip someone gave me the other night in order to avoid chewing up my lawn. Unfortunately, Betty's all-terrains always do that anyway, because they're just big blocky tread. Because the lawn's basically grass floating on mud at the moment. Given all the rain we've had, I'm not moving cars very far at all, because just driving over it turns it to all mud with grass underneath it. Not good. Anyway, that's Blue's little update for this afternoon, and thanks for watching. I'm going to get back into cleaning up the shed tonight, I think. Yeah, the ticking of the injectors, that's what that ticking is.